And welcome back to the greatest show on earth, everybody. You know, there really are only two very important rules in sports. Number one is victory. And number two, don't treat thy fans poorly. Well, apparently New York Knicks owner James Dolan doesn't believe in either rule. In fact, after, and you got to listen to this, I still can't get over what I just read. This after longtime Knicks fan Irving Berman, who was 73 years old, wrote Mr. Dolan to let him know why he's so unhappy with the team. Note, the Knicks have won 11 games this season. That's 4 more than the New York Giants. That's 7 more than the New York Jets. The problem is the Knicks have also lost 40 times. That's 11 out of, I mean, they're the worst team in the NBA. And they have Phil Jackson as their GM, and they got Carmelo Anthony and all of that. And by the way, they play a little more games in the NBA than they do in the NFL. Anyway, so it makes sense that a fan of 60 plus years would be upset, right? Well, New York Knicks owner Mr. Dolan, well, he's having none of it. Let's read you his response. You are such a sad person. Why would anybody write such a hateful letter? I am just guessing, but I'll bet your life is a mess and you are a hateful mess. Again, this is the owner of the New York Knicks and also the heir to Cablevision writing this stuff. What have you done that anyone would consider positive or nice? Because, you know, he really knows the guy. Good Lord. I mean, it just goes on. You most likely have been major family miserable. Alcoholic, maybe. Sure, why not just jump right to that whole assumption? I celebrated my 21-year anniversary of sobriety. You should try it. Maybe it will help you become a person that folks would like to have around. Yeah, that's James Dolan saying that. In the meantime, start rooting for the Nets because the Knicks don't want you. That is an email from James Dolan to Mr. Bierman. I mean, you stay classy, Jimbo. So what has been the NBA's response? The league said they would not fine Dolan for his salty email. Jenny Crumpton, should they have?
Look, Dolan is my bless his heart of the day. And remember, that's not a good thing, the bless his heart. Look, when I worked in advertising, one of my clients was Cablevision. So I got used to what we called Dolanisms. We were constantly having to sort of work around things that were said.
Did he send you an email like that?
No.
Okay.
But he did to other people, to customers, etc. We had to sort of, you know, be on the defensive a lot. But, you know, I kind of liken this to Chris Christie a little bit. He has his way that offends a lot of people. And you know that if you say something to him at a press conference or at a gathering, you might just get your head bitten off. A lot of people find that endearing. Some people don't. It's completely unprofessional, however.
Rick, this team, again, let me be clear. They're 11-40.
Oh yeah, they're god awful.
And the owner has the audacity to speak to a fan like this and says, what am I paying for? Because as you've heard, Knick tickets are a little expensive.
Yeah, I have a slightly different concern. I don't know if we're on Cablevision or not, but if we are, and you just went to black, we know why. And if we aren't, well,
ain't gonna happen.
Ain't gonna happen now,
a lot of
is it?
people know. I mean, a lot of people who work with him know his tendency to strike back at people.
But
it's not a secret.
But at least in that type of business, there's some accountability. You treat your customers that way, they stop being your customers. I'm finding that when it comes to professional sports, you're untouchable. No matter what you do, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's Goodell and all of his shenanigans, it doesn't matter because the customers keep coming back. So what are the repercussions going to be?
Nobody's selling their seasons next year.
No, because of this guy? No,
it's horrible PR, though.
Yeah,
and the thing is, to do this in an email, it's like, you know, with Nixon with the tapes.
No.
There is evidence. Of course he's going to go, Mr. Bierman is going to go to the press and say, you won't believe what James Dolan sent me.
And he accused me of being an alcoholic.
Right? There's no bad PR.
There's no bad PR.
Everybody's going to be looking at the Knicks and looking at Dolan's past and making jokes about it. That's all that happens in our society anymore.
I'm not sure it's a good idea under any circumstances to publicly accuse somebody of being an alcoholic.
Well, but that's where you start running on
lawyers.
Legal problems. That is
Can he sue him for calling him that?
No, he didn't publish it.
He
I mean,
didn't
when it's
publish
between
it.
the two of you,
Right.
it's the
not
letter writer who published
The guy
it.
actually
Now, if
published
he-
it.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
he'd
he
have a
did.
difficult.
So, yeah, that's
if,
true.
If somebody within the Knicks organization were to have slipped that letter to a newspaper, sports
yes,
writer,
yeah.
then you got something.
Yeah,
something different
absolutely.
altogether.
And it's, he clearly isn't thinking before, and maybe he has a long history of not thinking before he sends these things.
Yeah,
but there's
clearly.
nobody to answer to right now, so we can all laugh about it, and people keep watching the games even though they stink, and he's nasty.
Celebrities are still going to be on the front row.
Yes, they are.
Not as many anymore.
Really?
It's gone down
Yeah.
to D-list. I saw
Yeah.
R. Kelly there last night.
Oh,
So
no.
R, what does the R stand for? And
He has had
Tell me.
punishment for
Yeah,
his bad
this is his
behavior.
punishment. Front row seats. at
That
the
would
Knicks.
be, wouldn't it? Incredible.
Well,
Anyway.
we have to wait and see what Spike Lee has to say. Whatever he says will carry the day.
Well, he's a very pragmatic guy, so I'm sure
true.
that'll be very
He'll have
very
plenty to
interesting.
say.
By the way, the word I was looking for before when describing green energy was Solyndra.
Solyndra.
Yeah, the name of the company that no
Solyndra.
longer exists, and it's been out of existence so long I couldn't
Overstated
remember.
probably.
Anyway, that's a wrap. Thanks to Heather Hansen, Rick Unger, Jenny Crumpton. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. we'll do it again. I'm Joe Concha in New York. Good night.